Welcome back to the Old Photo Vault channel. 1. A dim, peeling room with a rusted bed and a figure-like shadow in the corner during my ghost tour. Penhurst State School. Undated. I remember taking this photo when I was walking through one of the Penhurst ghost tours, just 15 minutes from where I live. After brightening it later, I noticed that strange shape in the corner. Something that looked far too much like a person standing there, staring back at me. I kept telling myself it was only peeling paint. Yet that particular room always made my stomach drop the second I stood in the doorway. Knowing how much neglect, abuse, and death happened within those walls made the air feel heavier than silence. Even if it was nothing, the moment stayed with me, turning a simple photo into an experience I've never forgotten. 2. A quiet backyard scene with a lone bicycle and a mysterious woman's reflection appearing in the window. Suburban home. Undated. I remember reading how the photo was taken just to document a simple leak outside the house. Nothing more. He was completely alone that day. Yet when the pictures were checked later, the faint image of a woman appeared in the window, as though she'd been standing there the whole time. The stillness of the yard contrasts sharply with that unexpected presence, turning an ordinary moment into something unsettling. The reflection feels too defined to ignore, yet too strange to easily explain away. Even if there was no one else there, the photo now carries a quiet, lingering chill that's hard to forget. 3. A dim street corner near a railway line where a shadowy figure-like form appears beside a parked car. Late evening. Undated. I had just finished a long shift as a carer and arrived early for my next call, when I noticed something strange near the railway line and the elderly care home. The light from the street lamp fell perfectly onto the wall, revealing a dark, human-shaped figure that made me freeze for a moment. Wanting to be sure my eyes weren't playing tricks on me, I took a photo from inside my car, and seeing it captured so clearly left me stunned. It was around 9:30 p.m., quiet and empty, yet the presence of that shape felt unnervingly real. Even now, I still remember the jolt of disbelief that ran through me the moment I realized what I had captured. 4. A quiet, moss-covered waterfall where a faint figure-like form seems to appear in the falling water. Spokane, Washington, 2011. I remember taking this photo back in 2011, thinking it was just a calm moment in front of a small waterfall tucked between the rocks. It wasn't until I showed it to my family, holding my phone upside down, that I suddenly noticed what looked like a face in the water, complete with a beard, a robe, and even a staff. The details felt too precise to ignore, especially the way the shapes lined up so naturally within the flow. Even the stick resting on my shoulder looked odd in the moment, though everything in the shot was completely real, except for a bit of saturation and boldness added later. Standing there, surrounded by the quiet wilderness of Spokane, I never imagined I would capture something that felt so mysterious. 5. A dim, cluttered room where a shadowy figure seems to crouch beneath a shelf during my visit to a haunted house. Local haunted house last summer. I remember my girlfriend and I taking this picture last summer at that old haunted house just a mile from where I live. We were just messing around with a camera, not expecting anything unusual, until we looked closer and saw that dark figure crouched beneath the shelf. The more I stared, the more the shape felt wrong. Too solid, too still, almost like it was waiting there in the shadows. And when I checked the top window, I realized there was something faint staring out from there too, which sent a chill straight through me. Even now, thinking back to that night, I can't shake the feeling that the house was watching us, just as much as we were watching it. 6. A quiet railway stretching toward the mountains, with faint, unclear shapes that never seemed to capture properly on camera. Countryside. Undated. Didn't even mean to take this photo. Yet when I looked at it later, the same strange thing happened again. Those vague shapes that never appear clearly, no matter how opaque, small, or transparent they seem in the moment. The camera always blurs them into uncertainty, as if they refuse to be seen fully. The scene itself is peaceful, but there's something unsettling about the way those forms hover just beyond clarity. It's almost like they exist only in the corner of vision, never staying long enough to be defined. Even without trying, the picture ended up holding a quiet mystery I can't fully explain. 7. A dim stairway, where a faint figure seems to stand by the kitchen door in the early hours. Sheffield, South Yorkshire, 2013. I remember staying at my brother Tom's house that night in Sheffield, unable to sleep as the clock crept past the early hours of November 13th. Restless, I got up for a cigarette, thinking the silence of the house would calm my mind. But then I heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps coming from downstairs, slow, uneven, as if someone was moving toward the kitchen door. I turned on the light from my phone's camera, expecting to find nothing. Yet the shape that appeared in the beam made my breath catch. It looked like an older woman, faint and pale, standing by the door as though she were trying to open it. In that moment, I felt as if I was seeing someone who had never truly left the house. 8. A quiet, decorated hall where an unexpected figure appears seated among the wedding chairs. Wedding venue, undated. I remember this photo being taken just before the wedding, when the room was completely empty except for the two of us standing behind the camera. Everything felt calm and ordinary at the time. Just rows of chairs tied neatly with ribbons, the soft echo of an empty hall. But when I looked closer later, I noticed someone sitting there in the back, staring straight toward the lens as if they'd been waiting. The strange thing is, no one else was in the room, and we would have seen anyone sitting there so plainly. Even now, every time I look at the picture, I feel that same little jolt, as if the moment caught something we never realized was there. 9. A living room captured by a home security camera, showing the owner in a bathrobe and an unexplained second figure near the doorway. Private residence, undated. I remember checking the security footage and freezing when I saw this frame. Me in my bathrobe, standing exactly where I should be. And then someone, or something else, just a few feet away. The second figure didn't match anyone in the house, and the shape felt strangely out of place, almost like it was caught mid-movement. What unsettled me most was how natural it looked in the room, as if it belonged there, even though I knew it didn't. The lighting, the shadows, everything lined up too perfectly to simply ignore. Even now, every time I replay the clip, I can't shake the feeling that the camera captured more than just the living room that day. 10. A nighttime street selfie capturing an unexpected figure standing behind two friends, New Orleans, a few years ago. My cousin took this picture during a trip to New Orleans, thinking it was just a simple shot on a quiet street. He said no one else was around, just the two of them and the glow of the streetlights. When he went to post it later, he noticed the figure standing behind them, someone who hadn't been there when the photo was taken. The realization unsettled him, especially because the street had felt completely empty only seconds before. Even now, the image carries a strange tension, as if something slipped into the frame without anyone noticing. 11. A night vision monitor image showing a gentle, misty figure standing beside a bed, as if watching over its occupant. Family home, undated. Her daughter was sitting at the kitchen table having a snack when the motion alert came through from the monitor she kept in her father's room. The camera showed a soft, human-shaped figure beside the bed, a presence that looked tender and familiar, even though she had already passed away. The moment felt like a quiet visitation, as if someone had come back to check on the person they loved most. Not long after, he followed her in passing, leaving the family with this one captured instant of comfort and mystery. A small, fleeting sign that love sometimes lingers longer than life itself. 12. A crumbling stone wall at Chillingham Castle, where a dark, hollow opening seems to hold a faint, face-like shape. Chillingham Castle, Northumberland, 2023. The rough stones look ancient, worn by time and stories too heavy to fade. Yet the shadow inside that opening feels strangely alive. When the photo is viewed closely, the darkness seems to form subtle contours, almost like eyes and a brow watching from deep within the wall. The eerie stillness of the scene matches the castle's long-standing reputation for hauntings, as though something old and restless lingers behind the stone. The wires and modern fixtures make the moment even more unsettling, reminding us how the past and present can collide in the strangest ways. Whether it's just a trick of light or something more, the image carries the unmistakable chill that Chillingham Castle is known for. 13. A basement housewarming photo where a shadowy figure appears seated behind Karina. New home, undated. Karina took this picture during her housewarming party, thinking it captured nothing more than a relaxed moment in her new basement. Only later did the unsettling detail emerge. The faint figure sitting in the background, unnoticed by everyone at the time. The presence looks almost as if it's watching quietly from the shadows, blending into the dim corner of the room. What makes it even stranger is that the previous family reported the same uneasy energy in the house, hinting that something may linger in those lower rooms. The photo now feels like a small glimpse into the home's hidden history, a reminder that not every guest at the party was invited. 14. A quiet hotel room moment, showing a friend resting on the bed after a long trip. Roadside hotel, undated. After a 7-hour drive, we finally made it to the hotel. Just the two of us, exhausted but relieved to stop moving. I snapped this picture the moment we set our bags down, trying to capture that mix of calm and anticipation that comes at the start of a getaway. The soft lighting and rumpled blankets made the room feel like a small refuge after so many hours on the road. There's something peaceful in the way she settled in, letting the stress of the day melt away. Sometimes it's these simple, in-between moments that stay with you long after the trip is over. 15. A soft, backlit ultrasound photo where a faint face-like shape seems to appear beside the baby's profile. Ultrasound room, undated. Her daughter sent this ultrasound picture, proud and excited to share the latest image of the baby. The moment she saw it, she immediately noticed a gentle face-shaped outline beside the baby, one that reminded her of her own mother. She texted back right away, saying it looked as if Grandma was right there with the little one. What made it even more striking was that, during the appointment, the tech only saw a dark screen with the baby's profile showing, nothing more. The photo now feels like a quiet, comforting sign, a reminder that love can show up in the most unexpected places. 16. A grainy game camera capture showing a misty, human-shaped figure moving among the trees near an old farmhouse site. Rural Woods, 2024. Livy reviewed her game camera footage from 2 a.m., expecting to see nothing more than wildlife in the woods. Instead, the frame revealed a tall, hazy figure standing between the trees, something that looked far too upright and human to be an animal. The location made it even more unsettling, sitting only steps away from where an 1800s farmhouse once stood. The eerie stillness of the night and the strange form frozen in the infrared glow changed her mind instantly. After seeing this, she abandoned any plans to hunt in that area again. 17. A dim security camera still showing a strange, animal-shaped mist rising from the couch as someone sleeps. Private residence, 5:55 a.m. His brother set up the still camera to track possible sleepwalking, hoping to understand why things around the house were sometimes out of place in the mornings. Every frame before this one looked completely normal. Just a quiet room and the couch where he chose to sleep that night. But at exactly 5:55 a.m., the camera captured a bizarre, cloud-like form hovering over him, shaped almost like an animal, even though he owns no pets. The figure seems to lift out of the darkness, faint but impossibly defined in the motionless room. Whatever it was, it left him with more questions than answers, turning a simple check for sleepwalking into something far more unsettling. 18. A grainy snapshot where a faint second figure appears standing beside a young boy inside the old stone walls of a fort. Castillo de San Marcos, St. Augustine. Years ago, this photo was taken during a visit to Castillo de San Marcos, and at first glance, it seemed like just a simple picture of a boy standing against the old stone. But when the image was reviewed, a second, softer outline appeared beside him. Taller, transparent, and shaped almost exactly like another child. During the pregnancy, doctors had said there were twins, and later explained that one hadn't survived. Seeing this echoed form felt like a quiet reassurance, as if his twin still lingers close. The fort's heavy history and stillness only make the moment feel more profound. In a strange, comforting way, the picture suggests that he's never truly been alone. 19. A grand, wood-paneled dining hall where two faint, human-shaped forms appear near the doorway. And the staircase. Magdalen College, Cambridge, 1931. This old photograph captures the dining room in all its carved detail, yet it's the unexpected figures that turn it from historical to haunting. A pale shape stands directly in front of the door, almost as if caught mid-step, while another, more hidden form lingers halfway up the stairs on the right. The flash highlights every banister and panel, making the figure's soft outlines feel even more out of place. What makes the scene stranger is how perfectly they align with the steps, as though they belong to the room rather than the film. Even the dusty finger drag marks on the table add to the unease, an odd detail for such a prestigious college, especially during a formal photograph. The whole image carries a quiet tension, as if the building itself is holding on to more than just its academic history. 20. A candid snapshot on the London Underground, where a faint figure appears reflected behind the man. London, UK, 2012. The photo was meant to be nothing more than a happy moment before a concert, the kind of carefree memory friends collect on nights out. Yet the reflection behind him feels unnervingly out of place, as if someone was standing there in silence, though no one had been. The blurred face in the glass carries a ghostly stillness, turning an ordinary train window into something far more mysterious. You can almost sense the shock his sister and friend felt when they zoomed in, the way a fun photo suddenly changed its tone. Moments like this linger in the mind, reminding us how the simplest images can hold the strangest surprises. 21. A casual living room snapshot where an unexpected face appears reflected beside the group. Unknown apartment, 2015. Samuel took this photo back in 2015, expecting to capture the 4 people who were actually in the apartment that night. Everything looked completely normal at first. The woman on the couch, the 2 men talking in the kitchen, and Samuel holding the camera. But when the picture was zoomed in, a 5th face appeared in the reflection near the glass, one that didn't belong to anyone present. The expression is faint, yet unmistakably human, hovering just outside the circle of friends. The more you study the image, the more unsettling that hidden presence becomes. It's the kind of moment that makes you wonder who or what was watching from the shadows. 22. A nighttime cemetery photo showing a man lying across an old Revolutionary War-era grave, with a misty figure rising above him. Small cemetery by the bar. Undated. The photo was taken by his mom during a late-night stop at a small cemetery near a bar, where his uncle decided to lie across a centuries-old Revolutionary War grave. The darkness around them makes the stone slab feel even older, its edges glowing under the camera flash. Rising above him is a faint, mist-like shape, soft, human-sized and strangely upright against the night. The leaves on the ground look undisturbed, as if whatever appeared in the frame wasn't part of the physical world. The image leaves a lingering chill, the kind that comes from mixing history, darkness, and a moment that was never meant to be captured. 23. A midnight cemetery scene where a swirling, human-shaped mist rises between two old gravestones. Unknown graveyard, undated. This eerie photo was captured by Katrina Paraiso, and it's easily one of the most chilling images shared in a long time. What first looked like nothing more than a dark, ordinary snapshot revealed something entirely different once the lighting was adjusted. The pale, twisting form between the gravestones seems almost solid. An arm, a shoulder, even the faint outline of a head caught mid-movement. The surrounding graves and overgrown ferns only deepen the unsettling feeling, as if something was disturbed in the stillness of the night. Even for those who don't believe in the supernatural, this image leaves a lingering question that's hard to ignore. And that brings us to the end of today's journey through these haunting and unforgettable moments. Each photo holds a story, a question, or a whisper from the past. And now it's your turn to decide what you believe. If you enjoyed exploring these mysterious images, make sure to like the video, leave a comment with your own thoughts, and share it with someone who loves a good chill. And don't forget to subscribe for more vintage photos filled with eerie encounters and hidden histories. Until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and keep your eyes open.